I mean, this is kind of a unusual time. 5-year real yields are lower than 30 years. But in normal times, real yield curve is actually upward sloping as well. Now, if I add inflation on top of the real, I get nominal, right? It's approximately. So, so if inflation, let's do the blue line. This is inflation, expected inflation. Just add those two. You're going to get something like that for nominal. So whenever you expect that future inflation is going to be higher, you're going to demand higher rates for longer dated treasury, nominal treasury bonds relative to the shorter dated, which means that yield curve is likely to be upward sloping. Even when this thing is downward sloping, typically real rates are uh, very low. So that is true. The treasury yield curve plus the yields on the treasury notes and bonds relative to the maturity of these bonds. That is the definition. Okay, who's going to tell me this? A bond that pays no interest payments and sells at a deep discount is called a what bond? It's kind of a hint. Zero coupon, exactly. Why? Because it has zero coupons. There is a interesting and very funny story. Uh, there are two types of bonds in terms of how they're registered. One is called bearer bond. You literally have a paper certificate, physical one. Anybody who has the possession of the paper certificate is considered owner of the bond. You can go to the bank and get paid for it. And the others, which is a very large majority these days, it's a registered bond. They have serial numbers, and ownership is kept on the computers. So if I sell my bonds to you, I no longer have any access to the cash flow from the bond. From then on, computer knows that it's your account that needs to be paid. Okay, with this background, I when I was doing exams, there was a fill in the blank question. It says Amy's strolling along the street. She finds a bond lying on the street. She picks it up, goes to the bank, takes out a coupon, and gets paid. What kind of bond Amy found? The answer is a bearer bond because otherwise she couldn't have been paid. Even if there's a physical certificate, some people want that certificate. If it's a registered bond, it can't be paid. You know what the answer was? Zero coupon bond. What the answer I got, you know, and I gave, of course, 0 points. Actually, this was a question where I used to do confidence-based exam. She was fully convinced that that was the correct answer. So she got, I think, negative 2 points out of a 4 point question. And she objected to it. I said, that's the right answer. I said, how? She says, she took the bond, she took out the coupon. There is no more coupon, so it's a zero coupon bond. I increased her grade to zero just for the creativity. Something that may be literally true doesn't mean it's a useful thing. Okay. Always think in terms of context. First of all, how do I know? Maybe it had 30 coupons. She only took out one of them. The question didn't say anything about having only one coupon. Uh, you should be lucky. When I was doing exams where you get half 2 points for the correct answer, half 2 points for explaining to me why that answer has to be correct, multiple choice and stuff. What was one of the most popular explanations? Because you said so. That is an entirely correct statement, but it has nothing to do with knowledge. Just because something is correct doesn't mean that contains knowledge. Things that you can look up is information. Things make you understand it's knowledge. Those are two different things. The reasoning because you said so is not going to get you anywhere when you see a similar but slightly different situation. Why? Because you don't know what I said in that situation. Or it's on page 487. That may or may not be true. I'm not going to look it up. But again, it's completely useless. If you ever gave an answer like that in a business meeting because the boss said so, unless your boss is a really insecure person who relies on people kissing up, you're going to be fired the next day. They don't want you there to tell them because you said so. Unless their name is Donald Trump. That's a different issue. You may or may not agree with the politics of the guy, but he has all the yes people around him. The rate of return you earn on an investment before adjusting for inflation is called the what rate? Just talked about this. The nominal rate, that's the definition. Once you adjust for inflation, it becomes the real rate. When a bond's yield to maturity is greater than the bond's coupon rate, the bond is discount. If you don't believe me, let's do a coupon rate of 5, yield to maturity of 6. It's below the face value. Yield to maturity of 4, it's above. Okay? If yield to maturity is higher, it's a discount. Lower, it's a premium. Which one of the following statements is correct? Bonds are generally called at par value. No. In fact, generally, calls happen at above par value. There's a call premium. An indenture is a contract between a corporation and its shareholders. No, that's actually between a bond issuer and the bondholders. Collateralized bonds are called debentures. Now all bonds are called debentures. Description of any property use, we already know that's true because we talked about that. I created a lot of true-false questions using the multiple choice ones. The correct answer becomes a true statement. The others false statements. The bond issuers maintain a listing of bondholders when bonds are issued in bearer form. That's precisely the reason they're issued in bearer form. They don't keep a listing. You know who likes the bearer form bonds best? The mob, the mafia, the coke people, money launderers, because nobody knows that you own them unless you get caught with them. All right. Let's do this. A bond has a par value of 1,000, which means face value. Okay. current yield of 7.125%, annual interest payments, and a 5 years maturity. The bond code is 101.584. What is the amount of each coupon? Okay, let me copy this to our notes. When a bond is quoted like that, 101.584, that's the percentage of the face value. So price $1,000 times 101.584 divided by 100. Okay, so that's the quoted price for the bond. It has 5 years to maturity. What is the amount of each coupon payment? It's annual interest payments. We can figure out in multiple ways, but the easiest way, we know the current yield, which is annual coupon amount divided by bond value. We are interested in each coupon payment. Since it's an annual bond, there is one coupon per year. So annual coupon amount equals current yield times bond value. So in this case, 7.125% times the price that we just found here, 115.84.